Good morning, dear children. You are welcome back to online class of English. Today we are going to study the topic direct and indirect speech. We'll come to know through this class what is direct speech, what is indirect speech, what are the differences between direct and indirect speech, and how we change the tenses of the quoted speech according to the tense of introducing verb, and also we'll learn the changes of pronouns as well as the words denoting time, place and position. So let us start our class. We'll begin with the topic direct speech. Dear children, direct speech is the mode of narration in which the speaker's words are presented exactly the same spoken by the speaker. Whatever is spoken by the speaker, we do not make any changes in them. We write speaker's words exactly the same, and those words are placed within the inverted comma or the quotation mark. Clear? Now, let's see this example written here on the board. Jagat said, I study English in class. Jagat said, I study English in class. Who is the speaker here? Jagat. Jagat is the speaker. And what is spoken by Jagat? I study English in class. Here we can see whatever is spoken by the speaker is written exactly the same without making any changes in them, and these words are placed within the inverted commas or the quotation marks. So this mode of narration is known as direct speech. Now, the important terms which we have to see here is the verb that tells us about the quoted speech is known as the introducing or reporting verb. The verb which is just before comma. Clear? It tells us about the quoted speech. Clear? It tells us about the quoted speech, and it is known as, what do we call it? Either we call it introducing word, or it is called as reporting word. Clear? These terms you have to learn properly. Either it is called this verb which comes before comma. It tells us about the quoted speech, and this is known as introducing verb or the reporting verb. And dear children, we use comma or colon after introducing verb. Either we use comma or the sign of colon. Colon also can be used here. Soon after the introducing verb or the reporting verb. Either comma or the sign of colon we use. Clear? And whatever is written inside this inverted comma, whatever is spoken by the speaker, these words are known as either quoted speech or we call it reported clause. Clear? Either we call it the quoted speech or we call it the reported clause. What is written within the inverted comma. Whatever is written inside the inverted comma is called either this reported clause or we call it the quoted speech. Clear? So this is the way of writing the sentence in the direct speech. Soon after the introducing verb or the reporting verb, we put either comma or we put colon, and whatever is spoken by the speaker is placed within the inverted comma. This inverted comma can be either the single inverted comma or we can use the double inverted comma. If the opening inverted comma is single, the closing also should be single. If the opening inverted comma is double, the closing also should be double. With single, we cannot use double inverted comma. And closing inverted comma is always put after the final punctuation mark. So these all things you should learn how to write in a direct speech. Now, let's see what is indirect speech. Now, look at the board here. You can see two sentences. Jagat said, I study English in class. Already we have discussed about this sentence. It is in the direct speech. Now, again we can see another example here. Jagat said that I studied English in school. Clear? Jagat said that I studied English in school. Now, dear children, you can see here the same sentence. The same sentence is written in different way. Clear? The meaning is same, but it is written in different way. So, in indirect speech is the mode of narration in which the speaker's words are not written exactly the same spoken by the speaker, but are reported or summarized in the words of the person who reports it. One who reports it, one who summarizes it. It is presented in his or her own words. Clear? For example, Jagat said this sentence. Clear? Jagat said these words are spoken by Jagat. And I am going to tell these words to somebody else. I will tell those words in my own. Clear? Whatever is spoken by Jagat, I will say in my own words, and that mode of narration will be called indirect speech. Clear? Jagat said that I studied English in school. So this is given in the indirect speech, and this is the direct speech. Once again I will revise it up. Whatever is spoken by the speaker, when we write exactly the same without making any changes in them, that is called the direct speech. And when the words of the speaker are not written exactly the same but reported or summarized in the words of the person who is reporting it. Clear? That mode of narration is called the indirect speech. Now, we'll discuss about the differences between the direct and the indirect speech. Clear? Quoted speech is placed within inverted commas. You can see here, this is the quoted speech and it is placed within the inverted commas. And in the indirect speech, you can see there is no comma mentioned anywhere. No inverted commas are mentioned here. Clear? Then the introducing or reporting verb and the quoted speech are separated by using comma. This is introducing verb. Said is introducing verb and this is the quoted speech. Both are separated by using comma in the direct speech, and in indirect speech we can see there is no comma or colon used. Clear? The third difference is no conjunction is needed. Here you can see introducing verb and the quoted speech are separated by using comma. There is no conjunction. But in indirect speech we can see that the introducing verb and the quoted speech are joined together by using the subordinating conjunction that. Clear? Now here we can see it is the main sentence and this is the quoted speech. Both are joined together by using the conjunction that. Now let's discuss the next difference. There can be two different tenses in a single sentence. You can see here in this single sentence we can see two verbs. One is said and another one is studied. Clear? One is said and another one is studied, and both the verbs are having different tenses. Said is given in simple past and study is given in simple present. Clear? Two tenses, two verbs are different tenses. Now, in the indirect speech, you can see the tense of the verb of the reported speech or the quoted speech is changed to match the tense of the reporting verb. But when we change it from direct to indirect, you can see here study. Study is changed according to the tense of this introducing verb. It is in simple past. So simple present is changed to simple past. Clear? The tense of the quoted speech is getting changed according to the tense of the introducing word when we change from direct to indirect speech. Now, let's see the next difference. The pronoun of the quoted speech is in the first person. You can see here the pronoun I. When we change it into indirect speech, sorry, here I have a mistake here. Jagat said that he studied. Clear? I will be changed to he. The pronoun will get changed. I will be changed to he. Okay? So, these are the differences when we change from direct to indirect. Comma is removed. Inverted commas are removed. The tense of the quoted speech is changed according to the tense of introducing verb. Then the pronouns are changed according to the speaker, and also we change the words denoting time, place and position. Clear? So these are the differences we discuss here, and later on we will be discussing how we change from direct to indirect. There are different types of sentences, and for each sentence type there are different rules. Now let's see from direct to indirect change of tenses. I told you in the beginning we change the tense of the quoted speech according to the tense of introducing verb or reporting verb. Clear? So let's see if the reporting verb or introducing verb is in simple present tense. If introducing verb or reporting verb is in simple present tense, the verb in indirect speech, the tense of that verb remains unchanged. It remains unchanged. Clear? For example, I won't be able to write here on the board, but I will just read out for you. Jagat says, I love my country. Jagat says, I love my country. Now in this example, says is introducing verb and says is in simple present tense. Clear? It is in simple present tense. And the quoted speech is, I love my country. And love is a verb in this quoted speech, and that is also in simple present tense. So, the tense of this quoted speech will remain unchanged when we change this sentence from direct to indirect speech. We'll change it in this way. Jagat says, he loves his country. He loves his country. The tense will remain unchanged. Simple present will remain in simple present. Clear? Now, The second one is if the introducing verb is in simple future, again it remains unchanged. Again it remains unchanged. You can see here the example in your book. Jagat will say, I loved my country. In this example, will say is introducing verb and in simple future. I loved my country is quoted speech. Loved is a verb here and that is in simple past tense. So this simple past tense will remain unchanged. It will be in simple past only because the introducing verb is in simple future. What will be its indirect speech? Jagat will say that he loved his country. He loved his country. Now, the next rule is present perfect. If introducing verb is in present perfect tense, again it remains unchanged. Again it remains unchanged. Clear? If introducing verb is in present perfect tense, the tense of the quoted speech remains unchanged. Let's see example. Jagat has said Jagat has said, I love my country. Jagat has said, I love my country. Has said is introducing verb in present perfect tense. I love my country is quoted speech. Love is a verb in simple present tense, so it will remain unchanged. And its indirect speech will be, Jagat has said that he loves his country. Dear children, as I am explaining you this, you should keep your book open with you because I am reading out the examples from the book. It will be more easy for you to understand. Now, the next rule is if the introducing verb is in simple past tense. Introducing verb is in simple past tense and the quoted speech verb is in simple present. In that case, this simple present will change to simple past. Clear? This simple present will change to simple past when the quoted speech, introducing verb or the reporting verb is in simple past. If it is in simple present, it will remain unchanged. If it is in simple future, it will remain unchanged. If introducing verb is in present perfect, then also it will remain unchanged. But when introducing verb is in simple past tense, your simple present will change to simple past tense. Clear? Let's see the example on page 172. Jagat said, I love my country. Jagat said, I love my country. Said is in simple past tense. I love my country. Love is in simple present. So this love, simple present will change to simple past. Jagat said that he loved his country. Love will be changed to loved. Clear? Now let's see the next rule. If introducing verb is in simple past, your present continuous will be changed to past continuous tense. Quoted speech verb, if quoted speech verb is in present continuous, it will be changed to past continuous. Only in which case? When the introducing verb is in simple past. Let's see the example. Jagat said, I am enjoying my holidays. I am enjoying my holidays. In this quoted speech, am enjoying is the word and that is in present continuous. So this present continuous will change to past continuous. Jagat said that he was enjoying his holidays. Got it? Now the next, when the verb is in simple past, introducing verb is in simple past, present perfect changes to present perfect changes to past perfect. Clear? In the quoted speech, your present perfect will change to past perfect tense. Let's see the example. Jagat said, I have finished my work. Said is introducing verb in the simple past. Have finished is the verb in the quoted speech in present perfect. So, have finished will be changed to past perfect tense. Clear? So, its indirect form will be Jagat said that he had finished his work. He had finished his work. Clear? Now, the next rule. When the verb is in introducing verb is in simple past, your present perfect simple past changes to past perfect. Clear? If your verb is in introducing verb is in simple past, your simple past verb will change to past perfect tense. Let's see example. Jagat said, I enjoyed my holidays. Said is introducing verb in simple past. Enjoyed is the verb in the quoted speech, and that is also in simple past. So this simple past will change to past perfect tense. Jagat said that he had enjoyed his holidays. Jagat said he had enjoyed his holidays. Now, the last rule. If your verb is in simple past, introducing verb is in simple past, your present, simple present, used to express habitual action. On the previous page, if you remember, you have seen here the rule you have studied. If introducing verb is in simple past, your simple present changes to simple past. Clear? Normally the simple present is changing to simple past. But if your simple present is expressing any habitual action or it is expressing the universal truth, in that case your simple present is not changed to simple past. It remains unchanged. Clear? It remains unchanged. You can see here the last rule on page 173. Simple present used to express a habitual action or universal truth remains unchanged. Let's see the example. Jagat said, I work for the government. I work for the government. It is an habitual action. So, it will remain in simple present only. Jagat said that he works for the government. One more example. Jagat said that the teacher said the sun rises in the east. The teacher said the sun rises in the east. The sun rises in the east is a universal truth. Isn't it? So when we change it into indirect, your simple present will remain simple present only. It will not be changed to simple past. Clear? The teacher said that the sun rises in the east. Got it? So, I hope these rules changing the tenses according to the tense of introducing verb is clear to you. Dear children, your homework is to go through all these topics which I have explained to you today about the direct speech, indirect speech and changing the tenses. Thank you.